The National Weather Service has issued a hurricane warning for the following regions: Calhoun County, including the Anniston-Oxford metropolitan area of Alabama, as well as St. Mary's County, including the town of Leonardtown, Maryland. Hurricane Hector. Hurricane Hector is a Category 5 hurricane producing maximum sustained winds over 200 miles per hour. Little change in strength is forecasted for the foreseeable future. If you are in a trailer or manufactured structure, there is no shelter to seek. Now, bend over and grab your ankles. If you're bitch made, hope you can swim.
Daddy, no!
Andy says he's a boxer and he doesn't know who Riddick Bowe is.
Andy is no boxer. Anyone
That's what you're taking people over there serious about combat sports.
As much as a fucking wrestler as a boxer as you are a wrestler. You know
you're fucking high. I've wrestled with WWE Hall of Famers. No, sit down, child. Hey, motherfucker, you said that I'm not a member of something. What is it? What is this thing I'm not a member of? Hold on, Doc Griffin says the NWA is a paper organization. I'm in the NWA. I'm in the NWA, cocksucker!
Little change in strength is forecasted for the foreseeable future. If you are in a trailer or manufactured structure,
God damn, this website fucking blows dick. God, this is just garbage. You know, worked pretty hard on a hilarious audio with my good friend Kill Signal. And, you know, I have a fucking gigabit internet, and any other night it would stream fine, but you get more than fucking 300 people watching you, and this dog shit website completely crashes. I literally turned the fucking bitrate down to 3K. It is absolute trash. Like, I don't know what else to do. I'm gonna set this shit to fucking 10K. Maybe that'll work. Alright, how's that? Is that better? This fucking website is garbage. I should try 12K. Is that better, guys? Alright. Alright, I'm going to play the intro again because it was hilarious. Okay, here we go. Let me know if it lags.
the National Weather Service has issued a hurricane warning for the following regions: Calhoun County, including the Anniston-Oxford metropolitan area of Alabama, as well as St. Mary's County, including the town of Leonardtown, Maryland. Hurricane Hector. Hurricane Hector is a Category 5 hurricane producing maximum sustained winds over 200 miles per hour. Little change in strength is forecasted for the foreseeable future. If you are in a trailer or manufactured structure, there is no shelter to seek. Now, bend over and grab your ankles. If you're bitch made, hope you can swim.
Daddy, no!
God, this website fucking sucks, man. I fucking spent 4 hours in After Effects today making a cool intro with fucking Tonka lying about a bunch of shit. I thought it would be funny with a hurricane, and you know, this shitty website just fucks my intro up. Good job, Stream Me. Really working extra hard. Maybe you should dial back on the fucking rewards and actually put some money in infrastructure so I don't have to fucking, so my website doesn't crash every time I have 1,200 people watching me. Jesus Christ. Alright, so we clear everybody. You know, I don't think I could set the fucking bitrate any lower. It's on fucking potato. I have a gigabit internet and this garbage fucking website can't even handle freaking 1,500 people watching me. What a crock of shit. Alright, I set that shit to 2,500 now. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. All right, how's that? Is that good? There's literally only one server that's listed on the thing when I try to use it. So is that good? Can everybody hear me now? You know, this dog shit website's fucking crashing. Can't even play a fucking video. Okay. God, what a fucking piece of trash. Alright. Failure, how you doing today, buddy?
Well, better than your stream right now, man.
Dude, this fucking website is garbage. I tried to play a fucking video that was 720p for a minute, and the fucking thing crashed like 10 times.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Doesn't like Ralph get some big numbers too?
Yeah, I'm like around 4 or 5 kumites right now, and you know, we're not getting any. It's just crashing. So I brought you on today, Failure, because I wanted to talk to you about the Barry audit and about some things that I discovered. You know, it's through talking to you and through talking to Tim Loy. You know, for those of you who missed last week, you know, I could play the clip. You know, of you know, us talking to Tim and Tim telling us about how you know, he pulls up the contract for Tonka, and he starts talking about the notary. And I asked him, you know, what was the notary number? Was there a notary name? And he pretty much said there's nothing on it. To him, it just seemed like it said the state of Alabama. So
they said to turn me down and also kick Failure.
Oh, they want me to turn you. Are you too loud or something, Failure? I don't know. You're not too loud for me. I'll turn you down a little bit. Okay. So, when I was looking into this, you know, I found out, you know, the state of Alabama, they have certain requirements for the seals, especially the notaries, and I got a little confused because Tonka swore up and down that he had gotten this name change filed, and you know, he didn't. He flat out lied about it, and you know, I don't know if anybody actually heard, you know, when I called this in, but you know, I'll play it for you guys right now so you can see that he lied.
You have reached Calhoun County Probate Court. Press
Put it on right
0
now.
and your call will be answered in the order in which it was received.
Wait while I transfer your call.
Thank you for calling Calhoun County Government. Your call may be monitored or recorded for quality purposes. Good. What can I do for you?
My name's Michael Robert Pilkington. I was in your probate court last week. I was filing a legal name change. I wanted to switch my middle name with my first name so that it could be.
Okay, you must have been in family court then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Let me transfer you to family court. Just a second.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for calling Calhoun County Government. Your call may be monitored or recorded for quality purposes. Family Court, this is Amanda.
Hi, Amanda. My name's Michael Robert Pilkington. I was in your court on the 12th, and I filed a legal name change to switch my middle name with my first name. I want it to be Robert Michael Pilkington. And I was just wondering, I have the notarized form thing that you guys gave me, but I accidentally lost a copy of it. I had it in some paperwork that I was doing, and then I was traveling, and I don't know where I placed it. Is there any way you guys could like fax me a copy of it, or maybe email me a copy of the probate form?
Let me get you. I don't know if I should send you to probate or to our circuit court. Let me.
When I went to the probate court, they sent me to you. I don't know why.
Okay, I'm going to send you over to our circuit court clerks, and then they'll be able to take it from there. Okay.
Okay, thank you. You have a blessed day.
You too. Thank you for calling Calhoun County Government. Your call may be monitored or recorded for quality purposes. Circuit Court Clerk's Office, how may I help you?
Hi, how you doing today?
Okay.
I was in there on the 12th. My name is Michael Robert Pilkington, and the reason for the call is I filed a name change with your probate court, and I wanted to switch my middle and my first name so that I could be Robert Michael Pilkington, for safety concerns. And I happened to lose the paper that the clerk notarized, and I was wondering if I could get a copy of that.
Yeah, you can come in and get a copy, and it'll cost you $1 a page.
Well, I'm actually I'm traveling. Is there any way you could like email it to me and I could like pay for it online or something like that?
It would have to be over the phone, and it's $1 a page, and for us to email it to you, it'd be an extra $3.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, what is your case number?
I don't, like I said, I don't have the paperwork.
Okay, what is the last name of whenever you filed your paperwork?
The last name is Pilkington.
Spell that for me.
Pilkton. Oh wait, it's sorry about that. I'm a little drunk. It's Pilkington.
And the first name?
Michael.
Okay, I'm not finding. You said it's Pilk.
Yeah, Pilkington.
I-N.
Pilkington.
I'm not finding that name in here.
Well, that's weird. I had some notarized paperwork. It was for Michael Robert Pilkington, and I filed it with the Calhoun County Courthouse. And it's weird. I was supposed to be swapping my middle and my first name.
Yeah, I'm not finding it. I'm not finding that name. The name that you spelled.
Pilkington. You're not finding that?
P as in Paul, Ilkington.
Yeah, that's very weird. Do you have a Robbie Vio on there? I don't know. I was really drunk that night. Sometimes I wrestle under the name Robbie Vio. It was Robivio. Do you have that on record?
Robi.
And then my last name was Vio.
Nope.
All right, I'm sorry for bothering you, darling.
It's okay.
So, for those of you who missed that or never heard it, I was pretending to be Tonka, and even being so high that I couldn't even spell my own name. And, I don't know if Failure knew about this at the time, but Tonka was under the impression that he had, he told everybody that he had planned this whole thing, that he'd paid for his license and everything, but he never paid for it. And we've all heard the recordings of him, telling people that he's training Failure to, be good with the stool and be a stool man and stuff like that. Failure, have you heard that part of the recording?
No, and there was never any fucking training or anything. I wasn't even aware that there was supposed to be a license.
Well,
by the way, we have somebody incoming in a little bit.
Okay. So he never trained you to be a stool man, like he claims. I believe he said. I believe he said he was.
No, maybe he has other people pushing his stool, but not me.
Let me see if I have it. Oh,
closer to everything. I know they have
it's on the stream now.
That they can give us, and very appreciative of that, by the way, because for me, this would be a matter of, okay, How many things can I teach failure to know how to do in 15 fucking minutes like this? Because this didn't necessarily his game, but like he's got the end swell down. He'll add the water, and he's fast with the stool, so he's got the quarterman shit down as far as that goes. But
man,
that's the only one I got.
He's a big boy. I don't know if the octagon would hold him up, but I mean, I thought you might have been cornered by dead air.
So, did you hear that part, Philly? You were fast with the inswell, were good with the water, the towel, and fast with the stool. Did Tonka teach you how to do that on Skype? Was he just like, was he sitting there in his wheelchair going, all right, Philly, this is what you do. You get the stool and you stick it in the corner and you just stand there. Put a towel on my face and we'll be good. Did any of that ever occur? Did Tonka train you to be a corner man like he's claiming?
No, there was never any of that. By the way, I'm still super loud, so let's fix that. Maybe by 20% down.
Yeah. I turned you down to 35%. I don't know how you're that loud. I don't know how you're that loud on my thing.
Well, I'll just keep doing ASMR failure.
So he never trained you, right? That was all a bunch of bullshit.
Nah, he never trained me at all, man.
That's pretty sad because there's a lot of other things that we've been talking about that Tonka has never done, and one of the biggest ones, and I'd like to show the chat, with your permission, if you're okay with that. Are you okay with me showing people, what Mr. Tonka has paid you in the past year?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine, Daddy-O.
All right, go ahead and put this up on screen. This is how much failure has been paid in the past year. Now, Tonka, according to both Vamp and himself, he's made over $70,000 off of the Kumite fans in the past year, and he has been the strongest, argument against Andy, claiming that Andy is a liar, that Andy owes you money, that Andy owes you over $1,100-$1,200. I have the whole thing on recording here. I would like you people to see the truth and how much failure has actually been paid this year. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make this fit the screen too. So I'm gonna make this fit the screen. There you go. That's how much failure has been paid this year. If you add it all up, it's a little over $6,800, which means in the past year, Tonka has gone out of his way to basically, pay failure as least amount as possible. He has paid him less than $6,800 this year. I am showing it. This dog shit website will work. I mean, seriously, this is fucking ridiculous. Let's switch this up, see if it comes up. He has paid failure a lot less than he's been telling people he's been paying him. Now,
by the way, welcome to the show, Nick. You have to use your ASMR voice because we're a little bit loud. We're a little bit loud here.
Oh, hey Nick. Let me go ahead and give you a roll.
Hey.
Hi, Nick.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Pretty good. So I called. I've been doing some investigations into the way that Tonka's doing things, and we know you're a lawyer. Now Tonka, he's got his AdSense and his Google and his YouTube all set up through his grandmother's LLC. Now, she had a small business in Alabama that was used for like religious studies and educational funding, and he's been using her LLC to funnel money through his YouTube, donations and all the other things that he's been getting through YouTube and through, Streamlabs, and he hasn't been declaring it on his taxes. How illegal is that?
Okay, so there's an LLC that's earning income, and that income is not being reported
Not at all.
Now. Okay. Let's take the most beneficial look we can. Is the grandmother claiming the income?
No. It's over
if nobody's
$70,000, and it's set up through a nonprofit. I'm assuming he's got a bank account set up in the name of the nonprofit and his grandmother's name,
She
so that the
doesn't.
AdSense.
She doesn't know where the money comes from. One day she looked into her account and was like, "Where did this money come from? I'm gonna tell the bank to send it back, so I don't." And he had to tell her, "No, don't send that money back."
no, don't even worry about it. don't worry about it at all. Grandma just sent it to me. That's highly illegal. If the facts are as presented, horrifically illegal to accept money and not pay any sort of taxes on it, and to use a nonprofit to do so is similarly illegal. I'm curious, I guess the nonprofit's just never been audited because it probably files some return, or maybe just doesn't file a return.
But
wow.
The real problem, and this is something that I think a lot of people don't know, especially the Kumite fans.
I didn't give you any shit about it.
And I would like them to listen to what I'm about to play on stream. Now, during this Andy Worski thing, where Andy charged back the money, Tonka swears up and down that all of the money that is being raised in this charity stream that he's doing for Super Berry Saturday, in which he multiple times repeats himself, all of the money is going to failure. It'll be with him in less than 30 days. He even says this. I'll play this right now. I'd like you guys to listen.
That's your friend. I didn't care. He freaked out. And we'll get to how he freaked out. I know he likes to tell people that you freaked out because he started a show. Remember, that's one of his other things.
Mm-hmm.
What he actually did is, all right, he's going to have to either say that he lied to PayPal or he lied to you.
Mm-hmm.
He lied to everybody in the world, or he lied to PayPal today. He's going to have to choose one. And I think lying to PayPal in order to get funds out of something. What was that called? What's that called, Phil? They got voids for that.
I think that's pretty fraudulent right there.
Oh, I think is that the word? Is that the word? Is it fraudulent? I don't know. Let me grab some of these super berries before the producer gets back here. Eric Hammer 35 said in CAD 1733 after the exchange rate, he should have paid you $1,370 USD. Jesus Christ, that's a hell of a. He did a hell of a lot of work there. Jay Jetty for fucking 50. This shit is childish. Here's 50 super berries. All right, here's the thing with giving super berries today instead of going straight to failure. This shit doesn't even come out for a month, so I've got to figure out how much all this to fucking roll it over. If the extra effort can be made, it can. If it can't, I understand a lot of people are on phones, and if it can, it can't. Whatever, I will do the extra math. But just saying, directly going to failure gets him out of the black. Because fuck Andy.
It's just pissing me off because I've been just trying to fucking mind my own business and be fucking doing my own shit. All this is gonna be doing is fucking bringing me.
Now, I don't know if you're listening along with the stream, Nick, but you can clearly see him say that he's raising money specifically for failure, and that if people can't donate enough for him, he can understand it, but that the majority of the money that is being donated towards the stream, actually all of it is what he says, is going to be going to failure, and that if he can't get it to him in the next 30 days, it'll roll over to the next month. He never gave any of that money to failure, which means that he engaged in an act of charity and fundraising with the express purposes of raising money towards a charitable contribution, which, from what I looked up, is a violation of Alabama Title Code 13A-9-70, which is using a charitable organization to collect money in a fraudulent way. And I believe it's Section 2, any charitable, benevolent, philanthropic, or patriotic purpose, which is consistent with the then controlling definition provided by the Internal Revenue Code of the United States. If you collect money for a charitable contribution and make a promise, like you're going to help failure get out of debt, and then you refuse to give it to failure, and now months later he has not given it to failure, is that not violating the law?
I'm looking at the statute right now that you cited, Alabama Code 13A-970. Give me 1 second. I mean, the short answer is yeah. The short answer is yeah. inducing people to give money to some sort of charitable purpose, or even if failure doesn't meet the definition of a charitable purpose or charitable organization under the Alabama code, it's still a fraudulent inducement to solicit money on his behalf and not provide it to him, but to just keep it. Right? Like
and that is exactly what he has done, Nick. Now, he didn't just do this with the failure Superberry thing. They did this for fundraising. Because I don't know if you knew this, but during the entire fight thing, all the way since back in October, they've been collecting donations in the thousands of dollars every single month. People thinking that they're paying towards Tonka training, paying towards Tonka's food fund. And I actually have I have tweets from Vamp, or oh wait, that's the wrong one. This is the right one. Here's a tweet from Vamp saying that she's raising money for the Fight Night Food Fund, of which she never went to, and she collected easily over $600 for the Fight Night Food Fund. Never sent it back, never went to Knoxville, never did anything. And then you look, and here she is on stream, and people are openly donating money to her. You could see it in the side chat where they're donating money. One guy even says, here's making sure Vamp has foods. Me and the kid had ticket money saved up, and we can't make it, so we just donated to your fund. So now that's another person raising money for a fund that they openly know they're never going to use towards what they're promising. And their promise was that they were using this towards the fight. And now Tonka has collected thousands of dollars since October from his fans, thousands of super berries, thinking that he's training.
It looks like the stream went down, just as an FYI.
Yeah, it's been going down all day. This website is a
okay.
piece of shit.
I hit F5. I've got the Vamp stream up now.
Yeah, and if you actually watch that, now she openly says for the past like 4 streams before that they're collecting money for 2 reasons. The first one that she did was a fundraiser to save up money so that Tonka had food high in protein and lean and fat so that Tonka could lose weight but gain muscle while he was training. None of that money was used because Tonka actually spent the past 3.5 months sitting on his ass playing WWE 2K18. He never trained. So they got money from their fans for something they never did. So is that fraudulent, Nick?
I mean, under just the basic concept of fraud, yeah, it sure looks that way. The question, of course, would be, if they're defending it, right, they would have to try and frame it in some way that wasn't fraudulent. But anything you do where you represent to someone that you're doing it to either give a benefit to someone else or doing something that would cause another person harm by a lie is fraud. I mean, that's all it is. So you cause harm to someone by getting them to part with their own money for an improper purpose, even if it's not for you.
Never don't play W/me.
If you're just pocketing the money, then yeah, obviously, it's fraud.
It's not just pocketing the money, Nick. I found this out from Failure the other day. Tonka is actually taking some of the money so that it doesn't go over the certain amount that would trigger an audit from the IRS. I'm sure, I don't know if you're aware with the banking regulations, but any kind of, consistent transfer, right under that cut at $9,999, if you keep doing random deposits, eventually the IRS will get interested in why you're depositing that way, and they'll try to hit you with stacking.
Yeah, and the bank will drop some suspicious activity reports instead of the CTRs for the 10 plus.
So it seems like he's trying to avoid stacking, but you know what he's doing? He's going out and he's taking the PayPal money and he's buying Visa gift cards and filling them up with the cash and then using the Visa gift cards to pay people like Vamp and sometimes Failure and sometimes other people that do things for him on the side. That way he can pay them with the gift cards and he doesn't have to declare it on his taxes as, expenses or paying people that work under him.
Right.
Is that illegal?
with the IRS, the trick is always to pretend like you're an idiot. I mean, I think the good news for Tonka is it doesn't seem like much of a stretch.
Of course, but once again, is that illegal? I mean, that seems like tax evasion. Seems like you're hiding money.
I mean, if that's what he's doing, if that's the purpose of it, and if it's actually, if he's using PayPal to fill up, I mean, it all goes back to the same thing. It's all the tax evasion from before. It's just he's finding creative ways to do it. Now, what's interesting to me about this is that there may be another problem here, right? He's using a computer,
yes,
and doing all of this over the internet.
So that's wire fraud.
Right. That brings it out of the state of Alabama and into federal wire fraud.
Yep.
And that is just an absolute mess.
I'm very well versed on these topics, especially when it comes to banking regulation. I worked in the finance game for a while, so I definitely know all the little tips and tricks that the smart people, especially on Wall Street, think they're going to do to avoid paying taxes. So when I see the shit that he's doing, I'm like, oh, please, I know exactly what the fuck you're doing. And the minute they mentioned the gift cards, the funneling the money through the grandmother's LLC, dumping it out to her account, I'm sure the business account for the AdSense and for the PayPal are in her name, so that they can connect it to her bank and then dump the money out slowly.
Yeah, and I mean, even if let's again, being charitable, let's say that this is somehow being reported. If he's taking the money, though, they're well in excess of any gifting limits, and there's another tax evasion anyway. If it was 10 grand over a year,
I think the limit's 14 a year now. But
right, but I'm saying if he had earned like 10 grand over a year and was able to sort of skirt this through, he might have an argument that it was, she took it on, it was a gift, and then maybe she just needs to file an amended return or something like that. But I mean, with the amount of money we're talking about, that's really bad.
Well, I've also noticed that when it comes to paying failure, I mean, the two of them, and Tonka has said this across many streams, that he gives the majority of the money to failure because, he doesn't need the money. He's very rich. Well, we can see now why he's, as wealthy as he claims to be on air. It's because he's, fucking failure and everybody else that are getting donations, and he's keeping the majority of it for himself. And he does this shit with failure where he'll say, oh, I can't pay you because of the AdSense and the way Google works and the deductions and shit like that. It's going to have to roll over into the next month. I'll get you next month. And then, the next month rolls around. And it's, oh, I'll get you next month. Now, I went ahead and I looked up and I see that Alabama has a prompt payment statute. And I know that Tonka and Failure don't have, a diehard contract because Tonka's a retard and he doesn't know how to run a real business. But, he did make a... multiple public declarations that the two of them were, splitting the money, and that Failure was getting the lion's share because Tonka did not need the money. And, I see this, they have this prompt payment statute. I don't know if it fits because Tonka and him never actually engaged in a contract, but, perhaps maybe a verbal contract could be drawn just from the many times that the two of them have said this on air.
This one might be less applicable because this might have really specific application.
Yeah, that was unclear on that.
Types of work. Yeah, I would have to look into that one because it's not clear what they mean by contractor and if contractor is related to construction, which on a brief glance, okay, any person, here we go. Any person, individual, firm, corporation, partnership, or other legal entity who contracts with an owner to improve real property or perform construction services for an owner. So it looks like this one is specifically related to building construction.
Yeah, I didn't get to. I was just blowing through the legal book, skimming through it, trying to look for something related to any kind of off the books work or any kind of work related to online. I know a lot of times when people do work online, they usually do short-term contracts. So I thought maybe contract law might fit with this. That's why I asked if you could come on and explain it better.
Right. Yeah, and with this particular one, no. But I mean, this doesn't negate a common law claim where he's just going ahead and not paying him over and over and lying about why.
Yeah.
right? Well, it's the cuts. AdSense pays on the 21st of every month. Period.
Well,
Uh,
I'm a bit
YouTube's
upset for him because you look at Failure and he's a nice guy. He's been getting fucking kicked around by Tonka for the past year and a half. He's lost friends. He's lost money. Tonka just stole the channel that he gave him. He's
Yep.
getting constantly fucked from both ends of the stick. And then I see, Failure shows me how much he's made. And Tonka has literally paid him less than 10% of the value of everything that was earned over the past year, including all the hours that Failure had his back. You know what else people didn't know? Failure paid to have somebody do a commissioned shirt for the Kumite ad. And because Failure paid that, doesn't he technically own the rights to that because he commissioned it?
Usually that's how it would work. I mean, if you just go ahead and without any sort of contract, the typical thing is if you're paying an artist without a formalized contract, then the rights go to you. The entire rights of the work go to you as a work product. Now, to get away from that, certain artists may have a clause in the contract that would allow them to retain the rights and grant you a license to have your one item. But most of the time, the vast majority of art for hire is done as work product. And so, yeah, whoever created or whoever paid to create the work would be the one who owns it.
Okay, so Failure was the one he's the one that he just told me this about 20 minutes ago before we started the stream. That he paid for it to be commissioned. He has the receipts for the payment. I'm assuming he's still in touch with the person. Tonka slapped down on a T-shirt on TeePublic and has been selling T-shirts and has not given Failure a single dime out of that.
Well, that one would highly depend on what was stated between Failure and Tonka. Like if he said, yeah, you can use it to make a shirt and stuff.
No, I just said I commissioned this and showed him it, and he took it and put it on a shirt.
He did the same thing with the Medicare stuff. Medicare had stuff made, and he threw Medicare shit all over it and started selling, things with Jim's brand on it, things with, Blood of Palooza on it, without ever telling Jim.
Sure.
And then when we had Jim on the IBS Apocalypse, I called Tonka out about that, and Tonka said it wasn't his. And then when Jim and him got into it, Jim was like, well, you didn't mind throwing my fucking shit on your stupid T-shirts and mugs and making money off of me. Tonka's been doing this for years. He makes money off of other people's brands and labels illegally. I mean, I don't see that as any kind of legality regarding stealing other people's work and artwork and profiting off of it. Do you?
No. You can't do that. I mean, especially if it's someone's. You got two issues here. One with Jim's stuff, it's branding. So when you like, for example, if Jim has the hat with the 5 stars on it or whatever, and someone were to reproduce that exactly, then everybody would assume that was a hat that was made by Jim, that he was selling and he was making the money from. So he would have a common law trademark in that, unless he had formalized it, of course, with the patent and trade board or the trademark board. But my understanding is he has not. So with Failures, it's a little different because he commissioned artwork. It wouldn't be trade. It'd be copyright. But still, I mean, the same basic premise. You've got copyright infringement for using a artistic work without a license to use it. Exactly. And so, yeah, Failure would have a cause of action. If nothing else, certainly he could send a cease and desist and a demand letter and say, hey, you owe me X amount of dollars for using this.
No, just from looking at just certain things that I've collected in the past, I don't know, 2 or 3 days. I've seen him do this. He's stolen Failure's artwork. He's stolen Jim's artwork and branding. He's made profits off of other YouTubers' brands, names, and labels, their likenesses, the things that are, I would be considered, I don't know if it would be considered intellectual property. But, he's been making profits off of other people in the community and then hiding behind the fact that he claims it's not him because he has it set up as the Kumite merch store. But then he lets it slip that it's his store, which
sure.
I find I think that's highly illegal. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, I don't know that it's criminally illegal or anything like that,
I mean,
but
not
it seems
criminally, but it's
civilly
it's
unlawful
illegal.
for sure. Anytime you're taking money from someone, if you're using someone's likeness to promote, now you can use people's likenesses in like an insulting sort of way.
Yeah, or a
Often.
parody.
Right. If you're doing that, that's something. But if you're trying to make it look like the person who's on the product is endorsing the product, then yeah, that'd be unlawful. Typically, it depends. That's going to get really into state law. In New York, for example, it's harder to prove than in other states. But California would have more protection for it, mainly because of who lives there.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Stuff like that. So who knows with Alabama? I mean, how many teeth are on the pictures? That's a joke. That's an Alabama joke.
So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at him not declaring his money. He's running his money through his grandmother's account, which is tax evasion. It's fraud. He's collecting money for a fight that he never showed up to. Thousands of dollars his fans donated from October. It was ridiculous. It was like almost $7,000 a month for the past 4 or 5 months that he's made of fans donating to him with the express intention that he is training to fight and he is going to see Andy. Not to mention all the fans that bought tickets, that bought seats, pay-per-view, plane tickets. People flew in to visit him, and he didn't show up. And then, now you get into the fact that, he's hiding money on gift cards. He's withholding pay from his co-host Failure. He's just committing multiple acts of fraud. And then you see now he's doing, this shit that we just talked about where he's, taking stuff that Failure paid for and making a profit off of it behind Failure's back and, fucking him out of that money too. And then now you get down to the point of the notary. Now I called the courthouse and they have no record of him. I even called the clerk again the other day, and she double-checked her notary book that they keep on hand, where you're supposed to show your photo ID and show the paperwork that you're changing your name and everything. But you have to show the photo ID to get it notarized. It's a requirement in Alabama. There's nothing on the ledger, and he told them that he got it done at the courthouse, that he went into the courthouse and had the name change filed and that the clerk notarized it there. There's nothing on record at the courthouse. So for him to have taken that stamp, and when I asked him on the air, is there any numbers or names or bonding companies, anything on the thing? He said it just said there was nothing on it, that it just said State of Alabama, which means it's like a demo stamp. So this morning, I actually called the assistant district attorney in Calhoun County, and I reported all of this. And he has told, I actually have a recording of it, and he told me that he wants to speak with Tim Loy. He wants to see a copy of that contract as well as a copy of the name change form. He called me back after we got off the phone, and he told me he even double checked, called the clerk, and called the probate court. There is nothing on record for his name. There is no legal name change, so whatever he sent was fraudulent, and that is illegal to him. And he said that he was going to have it looked into. So he would like Failure to. I'm going to give Failure his number and his email. Failure can send him all of the stuff in regards to Tonka's grandmother's company that he's running under her name. He can send all of the stuff that he needs to send. For the ADA to look into this properly, and I urge Tim Loy and Andy as well to send in any information they can. If they want, they can DM me. I will give them the ADA's name, his work email, and his work phone number. And he's going to open a full formal investigation into Tonka in regards to all of the fraud that is against him. And I actually have a recording of it. He tells me, send me this email. Once I have everything, I'll give it to the investigators and they'll open a case. So I'm gonna play that for you guys now if you want. It's only like 5 minutes.
I actually can't stay. I only had a limited amount of time. Yeah, but that's nuts, man. I mean, it really does look like there's lots of criminal activity here. The fraud is criminal as well as civil. The notary stamp is a complete mystery in what's going on here, unless he's just completely misrepresenting it. Now, I heard that there may be a notary stamp at his grandmother's shop, which
that's what I thought too.
And even if he were to use that, depending on the circumstances, that could still be fraudulent.
Exactly.
So it really depends on what's going on.
It's like a $25,000 bond, and then if you violate that, you can be fined like almost $30,000 for the fraudulent stamping. And if he stamped without her notice, that's fraud too.
Yeah, and there are cases out there where fraudulent use of a notary stamp has enhanced the sentence to kick it up into higher amounts of jail time as well.
Yeah, I heard about that. There was a guy in Louisiana. He stole his sister's stamp and was using it to give himself a loan because she did loans and stuff, and she worked at a bank, and she stamped it, and then he presented it to the loan manager as that it was notarized by his sister, even though she was in rehab, and he'd been giving himself loans to keep his business afloat while she was away, and she had no idea about it, and they gave him like 23 years in prison or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good thing. The government doesn't like when you lie, especially when you use a government authorized authentication standard to make the lie, because you're giving the weight of government approval. The notary program is a government program. You do have to go through training. There's licensing involved in it. You're supposed to keep a record of it. You mentioned the ledger. I was a notary for a while. I had to watch all the stupid training
my grandparents
videos.
were notaries because they ran a funeral home, so they had to notarize death certificates all the time. So I know all about
Sure.
the laws of being a notary, and I look at the stuff that Tonka's saying, and I'm like, okay, first off, how did you submit a legal name change on the 12th, but you had a new ID on the 10th with a completely different name when you haven't even been assigned an actual judge to make your case to before you can even get your name changed? There's no way you were able to do this in like 3 days. This takes like at least a few weeks.
Yeah, typically 30 days for an order like that to go through, I would think.
He submitted it on the 12th, and he had an ID backdated to the 10th. There's no way he could have done that in 4 days.
Right.
And then you call the courts, and there's nothing on file. There's nothing on record of him ever going. They didn't even have a name change filed that week that he claimed he did.
Well, I hope he's got a time machine. If the DA's looking at it.
I definitely hope that he does too. And I know a lot of people have been talking about in Alabama you don't require an ID number. But the thing is one of the requirements for Alabama notary law, I think it's like section 36-20-72. It's in regards to the seal. It says that each notary has to provide a seal of office, which presents the impression or stamp, and it also shows the name, the office, and the state for which they were appointed. So for them to have a stamp from Alabama that just says Alabama, that's not possible, because it's not only just a stamp, but Alabama specifically requires the raised embossed seal that you do with the little foil paper.
Yep.
Yeah, his didn't have that. It was just a stamp that said Alabama.
Oh, well, that's no good. Yeah, I mean it's a mess, man. So you've seen that document then?
I asked Tim about it, and Tim described it to me, and I'm sure you've seen it. Did you see any raised embossed stamp on that?
No, he didn't. He didn't actually show it to me.
Oh, he didn't?
No, he showed me his ID, which you described with the date of the 10th, and he showed me his blood work, but he just couldn't find that contract. It was laying around somewhere. He just couldn't find it.
I called Tim. He went right into his office and pulled it out right there, talking to me on the phone, and he described the seal to me, and I asked him specifically things about names and ID numbers, and he said it just said state of Alabama.
What a mess. Well, man, I'd love to chat. I do have to run though. The chat is asking me for one thing before we go. They're asking me for Daddy. No. So anyway, well, thanks for having me on, buddy. I'm going to be doing a stream on this stuff either tonight or tomorrow. I'll announce it on Twitter, but man, it's not looking good for our hero.
No, it is not. It is looking
Well,
very, very bad for him.
Well, failure, man. Hang in there, buddy. This you seem like a pretty cool dude, and this should not be happening to you at all.
Yeah, I'm not like this is just a fucking bump in life. I'm fucking moving on. The best thing that happened to me in the last 4 months is all this fucking shit going down. Got me motivated, so gotta look forward.
Cool, man. Well, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for having me chat. We'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks for coming on, Nick. I really appreciate your legal advice. Thank you.
This is not legal advice.
I will donate you $1, so therefore it can be.
We'll talk about that some other time. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Peace.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So those in chat, here's my call to the ADA, where he gives me his email and tells me that he's more than happy to open an investigation once people start contacting him.
STONDA at cable.
All right, I can have them. So it's Dave.Johnson.
What are
Fight Promotion? I'm just a streamer on Stream Me. I stream alongside Andy Pires. Sometimes I stream with a couple other people that are involved with the Fight Promotion, and Andy actually lives in Canada. He's very angry. He's spent thousands of dollars to train over the past 6 months. He's flown here. He actually flew here to Knoxville for the 19th. He had to stand in the ring alone. I mean, it was embarrassing.
No, I understand. Yeah, fighters don't show sometimes. It's bad.
And you know what else is worse is that he claimed that he was communicating with the people that do all the fight licensing, Glenn Kopchak, who's the head of the Insurance and Fighting Commission.
You're talking for Tennessee?
Yeah, in Tennessee. And I called them personally, as well as did the Fight Promotion, and he never sent them in anything. They called him for weeks. He never sent them in anything that he was supposed to send. And now he's basically slandering the Fight Promotion and the Tennessee Fight Commission, claiming that it was that it's all a ruse to scam him out of money so that he has to return the money to his fans and stuff like that. And I just find it abhorrent.
Sure. No, I understand. But no, we certainly, if you get me documents, I can get them in the hands of the investigators so we can sort of sort out what happened here, what happens, where, and what can be done.
Okay, I'm gonna call the fight promoter now, see if he can forward you the documents, and then I'm going to, I guess I'll call you back later.
Actually, and I would tell if there's somebody from the fight promoter that it would probably should also call me first. That way, I can understand what their concerns are as far as what they think would be governed under Alabama as it would relate to them, as far as criminal activity. So you probably before I'm happy for them to send me stuff, but I would love for them, they need to call me first so I can understand their concerns as well, as it would relate to criminal activity in the county that I can do something about.
Yeah, because we had this all looked into, and nothing he's claiming was done. There's nothing on record with the clerk's logbook and stuff, and if the clerk notarized it, I'm sure that she would remember that. I mean, how many name changes go through the Calhoun County Courthouse every single week?
Yeah, that would not involve me, so I would be guessing. But for me, the key is being able to sort of filter out what we would have jurisdiction over versus what Tennessee or another place would have jurisdiction over. That's the biggest thing. Okay. And so that's why it would be, before they start emailing me, they would really need to call me, so that way I understand what their concerns are and what they're wanting looked at versus, what's a breach of contract matter that likely would be taking place in Knoxville.
But just to ask you really quickly now, when it comes to the notary law for Alabama, now I know that you guys don't have ID numbers, but I'm assuming the clerks have one for their logbook when they write down what they notarize.
Well, the clerk is a separate entity than the district attorney's office. Okay. Then we have the circuit clerk's office, and Kim McCarson is who you would speak to over anything that happens with clerk-related activity in this county. The district attorney's office is a separate entity.
I meant in regards to notary fraud, because the notary stamp that he sent them didn't have a name on it at all, and I know by Alabama law it has to have a name on it at least.
I'd have to see it
First
to
saw
then
you in
figure
the
out, okay, what
IBS,
do we have?
Thought you were a screaming sped. I was wrong. This is one of the best.
Issue with a notary, that would be, is that the problem, or is it a forged instrument, which would be different than which would be different than a notary issue? And so that's why I would have to see the document to determine what laws we're dealing with.
Okay, so
because if someone's not a notary, and they forge a document, then we're more likely looking at a forged instrument issue, as opposed to an actual notary committing an act of fraud.
So,
does that make sense?
Yeah, I know when they sign something without the person's actual ID or information, it could be considered fraudulent or impersonation. But what I'm talking about is like actually, like a forged instrument. If they took like Photoshop and threw like a demo stamp on the document and then printed it.
Well, then you would be, depending on the type of document, then you would be looking under the forged instrument or potentially forgery laws that we have, as opposed to something involving a specific notary.
So what kind of jail time would somebody get for something, that extensive?
It would depend. It would depend. I would have to see the document first to be able to then determine what classification of possession of forged instrument it would be. And it could be anywhere from a misdemeanor to a felony, again, depending on the document and what was done.
Yeah, I figured, when it comes to something like that, especially when you're supposed to be paid or you sign a contract, it's definitely, I would assume it would be a felony when you're
No, it would not have, the contract would be separate.
Okay.
The contract issue is not in any way related to whether he forged a document that would be an official document within the state of Alabama. The punishment doesn't go up because they used that forged document to breach a contract in another state. It's solely the type of document that is forged.
Well, the type of document is a legal name change form that came
right. Yeah, I would have to see the document and how it was forged, and then before I could tell you what classification it would be under. I couldn't do that without seeing the document.
Okay, well, I'm gonna call the promoter right now. I'll give them your information and tell them to call you, and they can I'll give them your email as well, and they can submit it to you, and then I guess you can get this investigation going.
Yes, once we have documents, we'll take a look and see what we can do.
All right. Well, I thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good day, sir.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. So failure. I have his information right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you his email, and I'll get his number out of my phone book. You can I'll do a call with you tomorrow. We can also get Andy involved. We can get Tim Loy on the phone too. Get a copy of that contract sent to them, and then you, me, and Andy, and whoever wants to leave the Kumite side can join. And we can submit as many documents as we need to and get this investigated by the ADA because this is fraud. And he has committed multiple acts of fraud. He's withheld money from you. He's committed notary fraud. He's committed contract fraud. At this point, it's not acceptable because I know there's people out there. I know there's Kumatards out there that are going to defend him. But, he's not worried about you. You know where Tonka is? He's at dinner. He's relaxing. He ain't worried about any of you. He's at dinner. Can't you tell, you goofs? He's at dinner. And here comes the food. Yeah, he's not worried about you guys.
Yeah, probably a nice one too.
He's not worried about you, failure. He's got some new info, but he's not streaming dinner. What the fuck's wrong with you people? And then he just got back from a trip. All that Superberry money that you guys spent, donating money to him to train and, to fight Andy Worski. All he did was take the money and go on a vacation. Gee, I wonder who he went on vacation with. I noticed Vamp's been awful quiet lately. It's almost like Tonka took all of those thousands of dollars that he owes you, failure, and all of the money that he defrauded his fans out of, and went and took himself a nice little vacation.
Yeah, he probably went in his RV, his RV that he bought last year.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot of cool stuff.
God damn it!
He's got an RV. He's got a boat. Last I checked, I believe he's got a river house. Yeah, what did he say? Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I wish I would have grown a backbone back then.
I am at my
Question
river
for
house.
Nick. Wasn't the purpose of the second sabotage contract that only Andy would have signed shift?
Hour, a bunch of dead air.
I'm listening to the sorry about that. I'm listening to the TTS. People said wasn't Nick the reason for the sabotage clause. I do not believe so. I believe Tonko is the reason for the sabotage clause. He said that I was going to shut down the event with a bomb threat or some shit like that, and then they faked a bunch of screenshots between me and Andy, where Andy is just like, oh, Zoom's gonna do this for me, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it. Got this Superberry stream, tons of donations. You never saw a dime of it. All these streams the past year, you never saw a dime of it. You saw very little of it. Less than 10% of the total value earned out of the year, Failure. How does that make you feel?
I can blame Tonka, but I could also blame myself for not fucking seeing it ahead of time. Fucking, yeah.
Do you think he took advantage of you? Especially your trust, thinking of him as a friend?
Yeah. For sure. I'm I try to be nice guy Failure. That's why I did stuff like when Ralph was, down and his channel, his fucking show was bouncing from channel to channel. I was like, hey, I have a monetized channel. Here, just take it.
The way that he treated you, Failure, it's just miserable. It's absolutely...
Mic off. Mic on.
It's just absolutely fucking miserable, Failure. The way that he treated you, the way that he treated you as a friend, the way that he turned you against Andy.
So much entertainment.
Yeah, it's his fault that my fucking 2018 was shittier than 2017. Here's the thing: a lot of people are like, "Oh, without Tonka, you wouldn't be anything." I was a fucking nobody for sure, but I had my little fucking nobody corner of the internet. I was doing just fine. I was having fucking, people like Andy and fucking Barry, and I had Keemstar on twice. I didn't do any of this with fucking Tonka around. I was all right before Tonka.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was yelling at my cat. She went to go jump on the router. She likes to lay on it because it's warm, and I think people wanted to hear me yell at my cat. But yeah, do you feel that you're owed all that money, Failure? The money that he's fucked you out of the past year for all the shit that he's put you through. Don't you feel you're owed it?
Yeah, it's especially after all the talk about how he didn't need any money, how he was doing this to help me out, how he was trying to build up the Kumite and then just hand it to me, but he never fucking went away. Yeah, it was just shit that he said to fucking string people along. He never had any intentions of leaving, and he still has no intention of leaving. He thinks that he will have a comeback, that he will do something that will make people fucking want to watch him again.
I feel it's just completely disingenuous the way that he portrays himself as this generous person that helps people out and that he's helping you out and that he's your friend, and then he's pocketing all the money and fucking you over.
Yeah. Lightest Chip says, do you worry this tax evasion will come for you for being an accomplice? How was I an accomplice? He publicly said this on air. He said it to many fucking people that his account was under his grandmother's name. He didn't say it to me alone. I just remembered it.
So we're gonna start a poll. I want to know what the chat's opinion is. Do you think Failure is owed the money that he worked for the past year, but got less than 10% of it?
By the way, Grimfrost says, ask Failure if he actually liked Tonka as a person. Yeah, not now, but at one point I thought he was a chill guy and blah blah blah, but that was just the persona that he puts on. He fucking does that, manipulates people. When he doesn't need them anymore, he fucking tosses them to the side. It's no different. Here's the thing. The Tonka that's on the fucking YouTube is no different than the Robbie Vio guy fucking arguing with people on fucking Facebook. Do you remember those, Zoom? I think you posted a couple of those Facebook.
I remember that entire goddamn
like 2014
thing.
Or some shit like that.
Dude, he would just freak out on people for no reason.
Did he mute himself again?
Fucking goddamn. I hate fucking.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck's going on with this site. It's not picking up my audio for some reason. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you now. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah, I remember it. I remember him challenging people to fights and saying that he would knock people the fuck out and shit like that regularly on Facebook. It was a goddamn joke. He's a fucking joke. That's why they call him Idle Threats in his hometown, because he would just challenge people to fights and then pussy out. But I'm looking at all this, and from the minute that you told me this, that I heard this from other people, it hasn't sat right to me. I know a lot of people are angry at you, Failure, and like you said yourself, they have every right to be. But you were convinced by him that he was a legitimate partner, a legitimate friend, and he took advantage of that and fucked you over. And he took advantage of his own fucking fans. And I said this at the IBS Apocalypse. I said this at the final Kumite on Tonka's channel. I said you owe it to your fans. You don't build a brand on being a bullshitter. And he had nothing to say to that. The god of blood sports, the big bad Tonka saw, absolute pussy. He was fucking probably in your DMs begging you to get rid of me. You guys were like, oh, we're going to watch the Ralph Tour. You didn't even watch the Ralph Tour. You fucking sat there patting him on the back, telling him it's going to be okay for an hour after that. And you hear the big bad Tonka just completely shook by me. Anytime he hears my voice, he just quivers. It's like he can't handle me shit talking him. And it's funny.
A big part he didn't want call-in shows because of people like you and the anime people, basically anybody that could challenge him, which was fucking retarded. And we would have arguments about this because it was like, why do you do the whole blood? I wanted a chill show, like when fucking Jim came in saying, oh, it's like the Howard Stern of the internet. I was thinking like, yeah, we could have a morning talk show thing, have like blood every now and then, but still have some fucking like what Ralph does now. And it was like, you do this fucking character that is out there fucking challenging everybody to fucking step up, and then when people step up, you don't fucking open the door. You fucking hide inside, peeking through the window, telling them fucking that you'll call the cops.
Yeah, I mean it's just like the Jacksonville thing. Oh, I'll fuck you up, Andy. Fight me in Jacksonville. Fucking day comes around, Tonka's completely gone. Vamps pretended her grandma had a stroke. Like, that was fucking pathetic. Then you call the fucking hospital, you find out that her grandmother's been in there since last Thursday with a bad reaction to the flu.
Yeah. By the way, Pudwamper says Failure does and says whatever he thinks will get him the most money.
I don't know, man. It doesn't seem like he's got a lot of money this year.
I would have been way better going with Andy. Andy fucking had a really big project lined up for him that he wanted to fucking share with me. And instead of fucking going with him, a guy that really wanted to be my friend, I fucking stayed with somebody that I thought was a friend, but was a total fucking deceiving douchebag.
Well, I can understand being taken advantage of. I definitely sympathize with you being taken advantage of. I feel that's fucked up. I feel that it's terrible that somebody that you trusted and worked with and were friends with for years took advantage of you and then used his little kumite clusterfuck of spurgs to surround himself with this wall where you can't get to him anymore because he's such a little pussy that he can't handle it. And I think it's fucked that he tried to throw you out to the wolves. The minute that you were at your most dire time of need, you needed that money. He ran his mouth, and by proxy, cost you money. And then he has a fucking stream to raise that money back. And for somebody that fucking makes $10 million a year and owns 4 businesses, has a Mercedes and a Benz, you figured he'd be able to throw the $1,100 to you like it's $10.
Yeah, no, instead he went to the fans and told the fans to throw money down. Beater Man says, Failure does it suck knowing that Ralph created the epic show that you had the idea to do originally. Does it hurt inside? It sucks to not be part of something like that fucking people actually have fun of. At one point, the Kumite people had a fucking blast watching, and that was fun. But I'm not. I wanted Ralph to succeed. That's why I gave him the fucking channel to stream on. I fucking let him stream on my channel for 2 days when he had a strike at one point. Paid him every fucking dime. Go ask fucking Ralph. before Tonka came around, I was helping people all the time. There's one guy, Magog of Morskar. I helped him from 80 subscribers. He had 80 subscribers. I fucking blew him up to the point that I think today he has like 20,000. Because I fucking shopped him out there and got him into fucking people's eyes and tried to fucking promote him to bigger creators and try to get him to collab. So I'm not fucking the jealous type. Would I like what other people have? Yeah. But if people actually have talent, fucking they should fucking they deserve to have a better spot than me, for fucking sure. I just want my little fucking corner of the internet where I could watch stupid commercials.
And I can completely understand that failure. I mean, you're definitely entitled to it. I just think it's fucked that Tonka just sits on his ass all day, doesn't even write up a show, doesn't provide content. He just sits there with a 500-pound guy that writes short stories about wanting to fuck his stepmom. A mentally retarded guy from Australia that thinks he's the next Goku, and writes self-insert DPC fan fiction about him being a shadow warrior. And then who else do you got? You got Niece, the 54-year-old cat lady that plays Second Life. You got Vamp, the dick in the family, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then who else is really there? The girl Leaf that Tonka said was mentally disturbed and fucked in the head.
She's gone.
Oh, she's gone now. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was sucking her asshole a few weeks ago about how great she was. But I just look at this. I see Tonka fucking you out of money, and then Vamp, she sits on fucking 8chan all day talking shit about everybody. Get a fucking job, Jennifer. You fucking broke retard. What are you, like 28 and you're still living with your mom and your grandma, sitting online collecting super chats, begging for money on Twitch? And, it's I'm recalling this time where Vamp said that she was so rich that she could buy somebody. Do you remember that, failure?
Yeah.
She was so rich that she could buy anybody, that she had more money than God. Yeah, I think that was it. Wasn't that what she said?
You know what fucking Vamp was like? She was like that Sarah Silverman character in fucking what's that movie? Come on, anybody remember in the chat?
I do not remember that.
Yeah. I don't know.
It just seems like you've been lied to, like you've been sold up the river, and his fans have been sold up the river too. And for somebody,
Way of the gun, yeah.
Yeah, way of the gun. She said that that she's got more money than God. Then why is she right here on the 12th saying, "Oh, I'm an e-beggar. I totally can't even feed myself"? And then she jokes about all the money that she collected for the food drive for the road trip that she never fucking took. So you add up the fucking road trip that she collected money for. I also heard she started a GoFundMe for this. They had the other fundraiser to raise money for Tonka's food for training, and then they collected upwards of $7,000 a month, up until was it October, all the way up to fucking January, and they didn't show up once. That's over $40,000 in fraud. Theft by deception, failure to actually, deliver on the money that you raise for a charitable cause. That's just miserable.
Troll AMV says, "Failure, redeem yourself and say nigger now." No, I refuse to say nigger.
Good job there, big guy. I think a lot of the bigger YouTubers like Keemstar and Jim should get involved in this, and I think a lot of people in this community need to know that you have been robbed, that the fans have been robbed, and that these super berries need to be returned from the trailer park to the meadows of retards where they grew. What do you think about that, failure? You think the super berries need to be returned?
Yeah, and they need to be returned, and they need to just fucking leave the internet. Leave the fucking internet. At this point, I don't think there's no redemption for her Vamp she needs to go to.
Yeah, she's too far gone. Just like her tooth, she's rotten to the core. And I think we all need to call for the berry audit. We need
Yeah.
to demand this money gets returned. This money needs to go to Failure for all of his time. And I definitely think that money needs to be paid back to Valor Fights for the money that he cost them, almost $6,000.
What about all the fucking fans? What about all the fucking fans that paid to go watch and shit and invested in all that fucking money? Yeah.
The tens of hundreds, not hundreds, the 50s and 60s of fans that actually watch him, that donated thousands of dollars to him a month like an idiot. They need to have their money returned. I think that the fact that he ran a Streamlabs and a YouTube and collected donations under his grandmother's name is fraudulent. I think that Streamlabs needs to be notified. I think that YouTube needs to be notified. I know Keemstar knows people very well at YouTube. I think that the YouTube people need to be made aware of this, and I think that they should also report him for fraud to the district attorney. You think we should do that, Failure?
Yeah, go for it. Fucking go for
All
it.
right, is Andy online? I know he wanted to get in.
I don't know. I think he disappeared after that epic show earlier.
Yeah, I'm gonna get with him maybe later tonight or later this week. Anybody that has been fucked by Tonka, anybody that has been fucked by him, that you have donated money to him in the past 4 or 5 months, feel free to DM me on my Twitter. It's at the bottom of my page. Just add me or use hashtag BarryAudit, and we'll try to get as many people involved in this as possible. Get you your money back because you definitely deserve it. We need to shut this motherfucker down for good. We need to get YouTube involved. We need to get Streamlabs involved. Anybody that's ever worked with this piece of shit, and we need to run this motherfucker out of town.
Yeah. Ray Savage says I'll MMA fight Vamp in real life in a year when I'm fully recovered from having a baby. Yeah, at this point, Vamp deserves some hands too. Is it kind of like, all right?
Well, she's definitely complicit in that.
Yeah, I asked this question to Andy. Like, are you like happy with the results of you didn't get to fight the dude, but he's getting fucking ass blasted online. Like, there's nowhere he can go where he ain't getting a shit on. Like, did you still want to see him get beat down, or what's the deal?
I mean, I'd rather see him get beat down by life.
Life is gonna beat him down.
Yeah, I think that'll be hilarious. I think he's a piece of shit, and at this point, he's not worth the effort and the energy to feel sorry for anymore. I think that you need to take him for every dime he has. I'll definitely see about helping you approach this civilly, and introduce you to the district attorney that's going to be investigating this. I'll give you all of his information. If you want, I could be there on the call with you and help you through this, and we can get as much of this information submitted to the district attorney as quickly as possible, so that they can get the investigators on this and they can run this motherfucker out of town.
Sounds good to me, man. Is there anything else we want to cover? I think we've covered a lot. I don't know if there's any more bombshells that we could drop, unless somebody from fucking Tonka's past comes out. How many people from his past have come out so far?
I'm sure Joya would love to hear the recording of Tonka shit talking her, but I haven't spoken to her in a few months.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She. I was talking about this earlier on the Andy show, but she sued him for. Fuck it, I'll say it, for slander.
Oh, was that back when he was claiming that she hacked his Facebook account and talked about how he,
so you know about that.
Yeah. She claimed that he claimed that she hacked his Facebook account and posted stories about when they were having sex that he would make her pretend to be his cousin because apparently he molested his cousin. There were Facebook posts about that, and when I asked him about it on the Kumite, he got really angry at me. I'm feeling like maybe it might have been true, like maybe because his father was a pedophile, and then his brother-in-law was a pedophile, and then his younger brother killed himself because he was accused of being a pedophile. So I'm thinking maybe there might be something in the water there that makes people be pedophiles, and maybe that's why Tonka was so high-keyed to get this Andy pedophile thing pushed out. Because I know that he claimed she did that and she sued him and won, and then he sat on the Kumite claiming he had her an illegal checkmate. No. He was getting cucked by her legally, not the other way around.
Yeah. So yeah, that she got her payday, which I don't understand why you bring somebody back around that fucking took you to the cleaners like that.
Well, I've also heard that he's also collecting disability. So add disability fraud to the fucking pile. That's a lot of fucking charges. And if we get
Yeah.
enough people to come forward with this stuff, I'm sure people have screenshots. I'm sure Medicurus Fembot has the different clips. She gave me the clip today of Tonka saying that he was going to give all the super berries to you in less than 30 days. Yet you
And it's
still
been
don't
more
have
than
them.
30 days. Yeah, been way more than 30 days.
Are the are the fans aware that you were there for the charity stream that he did for you, but that you never actually got the money, or does he tell everybody that he gave you the money?
I was only recently like aware, like, oh shit, that's right, the fucking dude never paid me for the super chats. Like it's something that fucking just recently fucking popped into my mind. I would have forgotten all about it if it wasn't for somebody bringing it up.
Well, I'm sure the tens of fans that are remaining after getting fucked
Yeah.
out of this event on the 19th, I'm sure if they are watching, they're pretty angry to find out how little Tonka actually cares about his fans. Because I don't know if you remember this back when we did the IBS Apocalypse, like maybe a few
Yeah.
days later when you, me, and Andy were talking on that stream. I think it was like a couple weeks later actually, and we sat down and Andy and you had fucking had it, and you're like, I'm tired of fucking lying for you. That whole thing with you leaving the internet wasn't a bit. You were actually trying to leave the internet. We're tired of fucking lying for you. And then Andy, I don't know if he remembers this, he showed me a screenshot where him and Tonka were talking about the fans. And Tonka literally said, fuck the fans. I don't care about them. They're just money to me.
Failure DMs. Also, somebody said that it cut out when I said why he got sued. Oh, because of well, you told him the whole thing with Joy.
Yeah, with
him
Joy.
accusing her of hacking his Facebook account or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, he accused a lot of people. He ran around like a fucking spurg screaming at everybody, including a lot of those people that talk shit about him. Like, the guy that was on Cog Show the other day.
Yeah. By the way, somebody just gave me a link to another stream where he's talking about about giving me the money and all that.
Send me it
dude
right
by
now.
the-
I'll put it up on the stream.
Yeah. Laugh at the Tism is his name. He's gonna send it to me right now. He's uploading. So, yeah, I look forward to watching that. It's gonna be interesting.
I do too. We should get with Andy and everybody else that was on the stream today. Do a private hangout and get all of this evidence together. We should definitely touch base with Tim Loy. Give him the information so he can send it to the ADA, and then we can get this case opened, and hopefully Tonka is behind bars within the next month, because notary fraud is very serious, especially, and charity fraud is even worse.
So are they're going after Tonka for the fight then, I'm guessing, especially since they had to give away so many free
from what Tim told me, they were in the process of looking into civil procedure, but that they weren't going to spend any time on it until after the event because they had to worry about the event. But it seemed very likely that they were going to be pushing the legal route and getting him sued at least. For false representation. So if you get to the point where now it's something where the DA is getting involved, and he's being a fucking liar, and he's doing all types of fraud, various crimes over the course of the past few months, including false charities, false fundraising, and submitting all this information and getting paid through his grandmother's social security number and tax evasion, it fucking piles up.
Yeah. Now wait a minute, St. Jude says, how do you forget about thousands of dollars failure? You're full of shit. No, that day I got like about 400 something in Streamlabs, and the rest was super chats, but I don't know how much is from the super chats. I just know that Tonka said on stream that day that he was going to give me the super chats. as Zoom says, within 30 days, but that never happened. I don't know how much it is, and yeah, that's pretty much that. And yeah, I forgot about it. I've been focused on fucking losing weight, motherfuckers. 95 pounds.
That's not something to bat an eyelash at. I know
Are you still there, or did it cut out?
Yeah, for some reason OBS doesn't pick up my keyboard when I hit the button, so you can hear me in Discord. It's kind of gay. 95 pounds isn't something to bat an eyelash at. I know when I lost my first 100, I was like, whoa. So I'm sure it's definitely something that you're very happy about. But at this point, I feel that it is my moral obligation as a devout follower of Christ. I need to call the IRS in the morning, and I will be sure to record it. And I am going to report Tonka for tax evasion. And if you know the email of that AdSense account, I'm going to submit that along with his grandmother's business license that I actually found in the Alabama directory. And I am going to report him for tax evasion and for stacking and for funds withholding against you. And I'm going to make sure that the IRS pursues this too.
That sounds good, man.
I'm tired of this motherfucker.
Yeah. By the way, people have questions. I'm trying to fucking answer you as sincere as I can. If you don't believe me, I don't know what to tell you. I've tried to show as much proof as I can to Zoom. Like, I'll send you a screenshot of my bank account. Is that all right, Zoom? See that I'm broke.
Yeah, you can do that if you want. I'm not gonna show it on screen though.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe you. You have no reason to bullshit me.
Do that real quick. Screenshot. Paste. Copy. All right. And where are you, Zoom? I'll send it to you right here. All right, there you go. In your DMs.
I'm up here in the clouds, man.
Yeah, it's in your DMs.
Yeah, you're definitely not lying. I'm looking at it right now, and Tonka has definitely been fucking him. So, everybody that's still watching, especially Jim and Keem, if you're out there, any YouTube people or anybody that's very influential, you all need to get on board this Barry audit, and we need to push this and get this motherfucker out of here. We need to get this money to failure because he is owed it, and we need to collect as much evidence as possible to give to the DA. So Andy, if you're watching, call me. We're gonna get Tim Loy involved. We definitely get Tara LaRosa involved. I'm sure she has tons of DMs of Tonka and Vamp. Which you funnily enough, you were telling me this the other day, Failure. I don't think people know about this. Tonka is such a pussy that he was scared to talk to Tara LaRosa about anything involving the fight. So he used Vamp as a proxy, and he would send a woman to do all of his talking for him. The big bad Tonka alpha male sent little shit tooth Vamp to do all of his talking for him in regards to the fight.
Yeah. He wouldn't talk to Tara LaRosa because he was pissed off that Tara LaRosa was, that quick on setting up a MMA fight like that. I really think that that probably freaked him out. He had no real plans on taking this fight, and when she stepped up, it was more than he could handle. By the way, she's going to be talking about it soon. She's just waiting for the right moment to talk about it. He wanted to talk to her today, and she pretty much said, if she's off doing her thing, no.
Why did he want to talk to her, if you don't mind me asking? What was it about?
Probably damage control.
Apparently somebody paid the Jesus guy to slam on Tonka. I'm going to pull this up.
Yeah, that was funny. They got the fucking URL for the site wrong, but yeah, it's so funny.
So let's pull this up so I can hear it.
I would like to congratulate Andy Warski on his win against Tonka Sa. Good luck with your next fight. And just a small reminder, The Kumite is closed due to AIDS. You can catch the kill stream on streamy.com. You can't abort the retort. Daddy, no.
Oh no. Even Jesus is saying Daddy no now. What is Tonka gonna do? Jesus, the Son of the Lord, has said the Kumite is closed due to AIDS, and Daddy no. Base Jesus. Even God's Son doesn't support Tonka anymore. So yeah, failure. We should get together. I don't know. I'm busy tomorrow. I have a meeting in the morning. But I'm definitely free Thursday afternoon. If you want, we could touch base and compile all this evidence together. And we could get together with Andy and Nick and Tim Loy and a bunch of other people, and we can really push this and get you what you're owed.
No,
And,
sounds good. We'll do stuff behind the scenes, and when fucking shit happens, you'll announce it. The next things I have left to do with the fucking Donga shit before I move on and go on to do other shit, because unlike fucking Donga, I want to actually go and do stuff. And I'm gonna be probably on Nick's fucking stream. One of the parts he's gonna do a 2-parter on Tonka, so I'm gonna be on there, and I'm gonna probably do the stream that Jim requested, dropping some DMs and texts. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. The more you look at this fucking guy, the more full of shit he is, and it's so funny to me. Like I know Andy was so stressed out about how annoyed he was about all this shit, and about how it was going through his mind. And I was talking to somebody the other day, I was like, just imagine what it's been like for me, because like you guys used to be Tonka's closest friend. Even Andy was good friends with him. Jim was on good terms with Tonka. You guys, when we did that IBS Apocalypse, I had to go full on Spurg mode just to get you guys to crack and admit that it was him on camera, or it was him on the video.
Well, I already told you why that happened, because I was fucking frustrated that, we've seen his fucking face for most in the wrestling videos, and then you hear the voice, and it's like...
Not me, it's kayfabe. It's so relieving to see all of these other people seeing exactly what I saw almost a year ago.
He was so pissed at me for that, by the way. He was so fucking pissed, because he was like, "Oh, you just verified that it's me. You fucking, it's all your fault." It's like, no, motherfucker, you can't go out there fucking be a wrestler, and then when somebody is like, "Oh, we found your wrestling shit," be like, "No, that's not me. That's not me."
I said this the other day. When I saw what Andy did on stage and how Tonka didn't show up, it's a good quote, by Jesus himself, and it's anyone who praises himself will be humbled, and anyone who humbles himself will be praised. And when I look at Andy, he's this semi-popular former comedian, with a stutter, and he worked his ass off because some pussy challenged him to a fight. And, I don't think anybody will ever give him enough props for all he's done over the past few months. And for him to go in the ring, stand there, work his ass off, do everything he promised his fans he was going to do, it really shows that, Andy is somebody that was humble from the beginning and never bragged about it. And even when he got the chance to be a complete braggart, I mean, he could fucking run this to death. He could use this for the next 6 months and just fucking talk about what a pussy Tonka is. And he doesn't. He thanks people like Tim Loy. He even thanks his own opponent and humbles himself and thanks his own opponent and says, "Thank you for making me a better version of myself." And, that's really telling. When you look at Andy about the kind of person he is, he doesn't get enough props.
No, he doesn't. He just needs to keep going with all this training and stuff. It's going good for him. I didn't expect him to come out looking like he did. It didn't show on camera when he was, sitting in front of his computer.
It's you know, I'm really looking forward to seeing Tonka's entire fan base burn to the ground. And I think as many people should join in this Barry audit as possible because you are all owed money. You're owed an explanation. And, you know, you're all freaking out about money that you spent on a trip for something that you're the person that you're backing, the person that you donated to, the person that you're a fan of for months, promised and swore to you he was going to be at, and now you're out the money. There's people that are out money for travel that they couldn't cancel because of the travel insurance. There's people that's out for the pay-per-view. There's people that's out for the tickets that they couldn't even cash in or use because they couldn't even get to the fucking city. All because Tonka didn't show up.
Yeah.
And, you know, he really owes those people answers. And, you know, it's disgusting to me because, you know, you look at this and you see how much he doesn't care. You know, he's out to dinner. He's laughing. You know, and it's just it's pathetic because people knew about this. Fucking, you know, you look at Akujen. He knew Tonka wasn't going to show up. It's so obvious. He even admitted it in Twitter. I'm scrolling it down right now. He admitted that he knew Tonka was never showing up. He knew ahead of time.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I don't know if people saw this. I'm going to go ahead and add this too. Kraut was talking about Tonka and telling him that he didn't need to apologize.
Yeah, because that worked so well for fucking Kraut last time, huh?
Yeah, let me. I know I have that here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so there's Kraut. He's telling Tonka not to apologize. You know, apologies are meaningless. Tonka's pretty much saying he's not gonna apologize, but then he did anyway. And it's fucking sad. You know, Tonka even says, it's just sad to see. Yeah, it's sad to see somebody make a commitment to their fan base and never fucking deliver. It's pathetic, actually.
But you know what? Let's not fucking let up on this. Let's get on the fucking phone. Let me know what time tomorrow we'll get on the phone. And if you see that motherfucker ever fire up his stream, remind him fucking what a fucking fraud he is. Remind him that he needs to fucking give back all the fucking super berries. And
he's not getting away from me. When I am relentless, I am relentless. And as you all are seeing in the chat right now, our good friend Jacob Lancaster, he fell down the stairs today, and he needed to lay down. And the real reason why he fell down the stairs was because I ran over to his shithole country and I smacked him upside the fucking head. And then I ran back here really quickly before he could call the police on me.
Oh shit, that was fucking funny as hell to read.
Yeah, I'm the reason he fell down the stairs. I smacked him in the back of the head. He wasn't even expecting it. It was like pushing over a child. He's just so weak and girlish. But apparently this fall was so bad.
Are there any memes yet? Please let there be memes.
About him falling?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know actually, but he didn't do too well. He's crying about punching down on YouTube and about how he's getting smacked in the fucking head by me just running really fast. I mean, this is a guy who couldn't even fucking he couldn't even boil milk.
Yeah. By the way, I'm gonna step out now, but I am gonna leave something in your DMs. There's a little video that somebody made. Maybe you could wrap up with that, maybe.
Let me see how long this is. It's like 7 minutes. I'll just repost it. I don't like going over like an hour and 40 minutes with my videos. I'll definitely post it on my Twitter after I watch it, because I don't know what's on it. It's unlisted. There's a chance that there could be something fucked up on it that'll get me banned, like a big black dick or something.
Nah. There's nothing like that.
I'll double check it and then I'll post it on Twitter.
No problem.
I just don't want it to be a big black dick. I don't know if you saw that. If you saw that one Twitch streamer the other day, she was just scrolling through her Discord, just pow, big dick.
Ah, fantastic. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later, man. Make sure to keep me up to date on everything. All right.
Yeah, it'll you, me, and Andy. We can get together tomorrow, like in the afternoon, and we can get Timloy on the line. We can get this all passed to the ADA, and we can get them to open an investigation into all this fraud.
All right, sounds good, man.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on. Thanks, Failure. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right, and I thank all of you people for watching me. I know that there was a lot of audio issues. There was a lot of streaming issues. This website can't take a lot of viewers. I don't know why. I mean, they got what was it, like $4,000 or $5,000 to throw out every fucking month in prizes, but they can't afford some extra servers and some extra bandwidth so that the servers don't lag when I try to upload to them. They really need to step their game up a little bit, because it gets bad. It seems like they prioritize server and